Hello. Sorry. I am Jonny, aka Lord Jonny and Lonna.
And I'm Lonna, aka toffee-poppet.
We're going to do a Marvel survey, which we wrote ourselves.
Sort of, mostly.
Well, mostly ourselves. Okay, so question one. Do you own? You look lovely. Do you own any Marvel merchandise?
Yes, I do.
Wow. What do you own?
A mug.
Just a mug.
Just a mug.
Just a mug.
I own a Stark Industries mug, which I'm very proud of.
I own the same Stark Industries mug because Lorna got it for me, and also an Iron Man T-shirt, which
But
isn't that one,
not this one.
but I own a different one. There you go. Question 2: Who is your favourite villain and why? Let's take a guess. Lorna, go on, say.
Loki.
Why Loki?
Because he's funny.
Why is he funny?
He's funny because he's funniest in the last one because was it last night we were talking about this? It's like he gets to be more mischievous than like wanted to like world domination kind of
Yeah,
thing.
because in the first movie he wasn't like, you didn't get to see, he wasn't really focused on Loki because they had to establish the character of Thor, but they kind of showed it was a bit mischievous. And then in the Avengers he was more hell-bent on like world destruction, I think is what I put it as. Like, so he couldn't get to be very like, he was more of like a villain than like Loki, you know, because Loki is a villain, but he's more like, he's really clever and thinking, whereas in Thor 2 whereas in Thor 2 you see most of that intelligent thought, the wittiness, the snarkiness, the very, very sharp on point, the sarcasm, the wonderfulness that Loki is. Like, he gets to be that in Thor 2, unlike the other two films, where he gets to be half, like, kind of.
A lot of what I like about Loki happens in Thor 2 and I don't want to say because...
Yeah, because it's only recently come out, but
Thor
go see Thor 2.
Yeah, go and see it. It's good. We nearly went to see it again today.
We did. My favourite villain is also Loki, but just to be slightly more... I'd say my other favourite villain, the villain which I hate the most in terms of just like what a dick, is Hammer from Iron Man 2. If you can't remember, Hammer is the guy who's the businessman against Iron Man in Iron Man 2, who like tries to make his business all up, but he's like he does like such a perfect role of being like imagine Tony Stark but without the intelligence, without the natural charisma. Like, he seems to like force it a lot, and whilst thinking he's all that at the same time. Like, imagine Tony Stark without that, and that's basically what Hammer is, and it's just so, he just sets himself up for such a fall, which happens eventually, and I'm like, that is a brilliant character. Oh, another brilliant. We're going to assume you've seen Iron Man 3 for purposes of this video, so if you haven't, pause it for a bit.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Skip a bit.
Mandarin.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes, the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. He was also brilliant. Like, that reveal of him just being like, I'm actually an actor, they don't give me real guns, the bastards. Like, that whole thing is like, yes, Ben
I'm
Kingsley.
sure I was just sitting in the cinema
like, the whole cinema was like laughing. It was like, oh my god, there's such a brilliant twist that like makes the whole thing. There you go.
That was excellent. Okay, end of Iron Man spoilers.
Yes, okay, there you go. End spoilers. Who was the best? Who has the best costume?
Well,
Tony Stark's collection of suits.
Yeah.
If they could be classed as the costume.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I kind of like Nick Fury's costume, which seems really bland because it's like he just has a goatee and an eye patch. But like the fact they made someone with an eye patch serious enough to be like believable. Like, I know that sounds really weird. Like,
no, I know.
You know, but like to make that kind of character who's like big, he's got. And he's like business-like whilst also being superhero-like, and he's always wearing like a thing with like a leather jacket, and I don't know, it's like very simple yet so shows authority whilst also having an eye patch, which is impressive. Like authoritative with eye patch. Well done.
What about? Oh, I was gonna say.
What was your favourite costume?
Just, I think Iron Man's too obvious a choice because he wouldn't be able to do the things he does if he didn't have that. So, For really,
This is just costume design, just what it looks like,
Oh,
so it
okay.
could be Iron Man.
Well, yeah, for really, really superficial reasons, then see the sort of metal stuff on Thor's arms. I think it just looks really cool. Like it looks like it would feel cool.
Yeah, like
yeah.
ooh.
Yeah.
As in the scale mail, or are you
Yeah.
talking about the whole thing, or is it just the
scaly
and the
bit.
way it kind of attaches by lightning?
Yeah,
That's
I
really
just
cool.
think it looks cool.
Yeah. Cool. There you go. What was your favourite line in a film?
Well, one of them that I can
I
bring
want to
to
ruin
mind.
Thought. It was like one
I
tiny
know.
bit which Thought
I know
was.
which bit you're thinking of as well.
It's so brilliant though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't ruin it for everyone,
Well-
so we won't ruin Thor 2. We can ruin
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 because that's
Well,
on
that-
DVD.
This is in Iron Man 3, but it doesn't really ruin anything.
What?
I don't know if it's like my most favourite, but the one I can think of is when Tony Stark and the other guy, what's his name again? War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine.
Yeah, but he's not in his costume.
So in the Avengers
No, in Iron Man 3.
and Iron Man 3. Oh yeah, sorry,
And
yeah.
they're like sitting down behind something and they jump up.
Yeah.
And Tony jumps up to see
Yeah.
You can see what's
Yes. He says, "What did you see?"
nothing. I was too fast.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Yeah, that's one that occurs to me. And
My favourite line would be. This is really hard actually. Because Loki has many fantastic lines. Like, oh, I know the part when what's his name? Oh, we can't make this Iron Man centric. But it's the part where Captain America says to Tony Stark, like, you know, take off that suit and what are you? And he says, a billionaire playboy philanthropist, and it's just like. But I think just to make this not is when Captain America, Steve Rogers, like how they're around the table and someone says, "Oh, talking monkey," and then because Thor doesn't know what a monkey is, they're like, "I do not understand that," and Steve Rogers they're like, "I do, I understand that,"
yeah,
and it's
I
like,
understood that reference.
"Aw."
And also the bit where Thor throws his thing on the floor. I like this drink.
Another. Sorry, there are many favourite lines
Yeah.
apparently. Okay, do you?
Can't believe you
okay.
wrote this one.
Question number 5, which I asked. Right. Do you ship any pairing? Why? And describe a scene to show why that ship would work.
Okay, just to show how much I like shipping and all that. Tony and Pepper, right? And then one day, Pepper,
A canonical ship? Never!
and then Pepper comes home one day and there's this big, huge toy thing.
Oh.
And Tony gets genuinely offended, which he doesn't like.
And that's your... Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my ship,
Oh my god, I think I know what you're gonna say.
Thor and Captain America.
I knew it!
I think it works. Like, I see that work, Thor and Captain America, because they're both, like, traditional kind of guys, so they have, like, a traditional sense. And I could just really imagine them going to, like, a posh restaurant and, like, Steve trying to tell Thor what's acceptable and what isn't in, like, that kind of setting. I think it'll be really cute.
Neither of them would know if they went to like
No,
a really
because like restaurant etiquette doesn't
suppose
change in
that's
80
true.
years. So Steve could.
It would be
manage.
funny seeing them go to like really futuristic things though. Like if
And
they
being
went
really
to the
confused, like-
science centre or something, they'd be both like, what?
See, isn't it adorable?
No.
Okay, so that's my shit.
What about the pivotal love interest that is Jane?
Okay, Jane is actually okay. We'll get on to
Well,
that.
yeah, I
Okay.
know, but
Number 6. We'll get into question number 7. Okay, number 6. If you could be any superhero, which one would you be, and why?
I would be.
You look like Black Widow from Iron Man 2 right now. So
I would be. I don't actually know. I don't think I would be a very good king of Asgard, so I don't think I could be.
I could be Thor.
Um,
I'm Tony Stark. There's me. If I could be anyone, it would be Tony Stark because Tony Stark.
I don't know who I would be.
Who would you be? Which one would you like to be? Like which one?
One that can fly.
That's 2 out of 3. You've knocked down Captain America. He cannot fly.
I just don't think I'd make a good Thor.
And you can't be Iron Man.
Yeah. Oh well.
You could be Pepper.
I could be Pepper, yeah.
You need to just cut me down more often, and I need to be
you
more.
need to get me a big huge.
And I need to get you a
thing
huge
for
big
Christmas.
toddler toy, which is like ambiguous or tits, sort of thing going on.
This is 10 minutes long.
Whatever. Okay. Question number 7. Did you see any faults in the movie? What were they?
Are we going to talk about Thor?
We can talk about Thor and
Okay.
Thor 2.
Good. Well, in Thor, the love interest was a little bit shoehorned in. Just
A little bit.
smidge.
It was just there and you like each other, boom, and it was like, you have the romantic scene, clearly in love.
Yeah, that's that was
just-
my problem. They had that one scene where they sat outside her caravan thing,
And apparently that's the spark
and
in the
then
relationship.
and then like at the end, he's like, "I'll come back for you," and it's like, why?
Mm.
I
But
don't think it's very
do
believable.
redeem
They do,
themselves in Thor 2 in a believable way that kind of it sort of shows that whoever made Thor 2 understood why Thor 1 was bad, but kind of made it believable. I think we can ruin why. It was just a small bit. Basically, for the 2 years apparently in between Thor and Thor 2, that was a time gap between Jane Foster seeing Thor again. She was just crying, eating ice cream in front of a telly because she was mildly obsessed. It was and to be fair, who wouldn't be?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
A cosmological god pretty much arrived, had some sort of interest in you. I'm pretty sure you're allowed to be 2 years upset for that. It made sense. But it also showed that Jane Foster's kind of the person who's more of an obsessive kind of lover, who focuses on one person, which is and that's why I think they redeem themselves in Thor 2 for the love interest in Thor 1. Faults in the movies, otherwise. Say Hawkeye's costume in the Avengers is quite downplayed, but then at the same time, both him and Black Widow are meant to be, well, not like a buddy team, but like a buddy team, and they're both kind of they're both people on Shield as agents. They're not superheroes. They've been with Shield for a while. They're not suddenly joined in because hey, look, New York needs saving. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes sense. So any other faults? I don't really see many faults other than Jane Foster and Thor.
Yeah, I can't think.
Oh yeah, okay. The Incredible Hulk. That entire movie. I thought I didn't show it to Lorna, and so she hasn't seen it because she just hasn't seen it. But don't Incredible Hulk. Just don't watch it. You don't need to. Hulk is a really simple character to get, and it's amazing that they do so well. It's easy to get, but hard to do right. And in the Avengers, they get him so right. The Incredible Hulk. That's a fault. The entire film is a fault.
Did you see any faults in the Incredible Hulk? Yes, the whole film.
the whole film was a fault. There are too many to list, but basically, don't see it. You don't need to. All you need to know is that this really big scientist, Bruce Banner, gets radioactive poisoning whilst working in the lab one day, and basically gains a Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Hyde syndrome, where Dr. Jekyll is the Jekyll. Is it Jekyll? I thought it was Jekyll. You learn something new every day. Anyway, basically gets that kind of thing where if he gets angry, he turns into a big green monster. Blah, blah, blah. And because of that, he has to alien himself from people and tries to just simply do good, but he can't make good connections, and that's basically the whole. Cool. There you go.
That was a question.
Now there's question 8, which is the last one. You're welcome. Okay.
This is nearly 15 minutes.
Sorry. Okay. Out of Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Avengers: Age of Ultron, which movie are you most excited for?
Well, I don't know much about Guardians of the Galaxy except that it has Lee Pace in it, which makes for me being excited for it. But then the Avengers, because I'm really interested to see what they do with Iron Man after the end of Iron Man 3, which I'm not going to spoil.
Okay. And so it's the Avengers for you.
Yeah, because
But Guardians of the Galaxy gets a nice one mention. For me, it's got to be Guardians of the Galaxy because I know that Age of Ultron it's risky. Yeah, I'm still like umming and ahhing because it's risky. Like the Avengers was hard, following up will be harder, and following up again when they do Avengers 3, which I think they're going to do, that'll be hardest because.
Are they going to do Avengers 3?
I think they're doing 3 Avengers. Yeah, they're doing phase 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do afterwards. That's all I know. I know they're doing 3 Avengers films. But in Avengers 2, I don't know how they're going to follow it up. Personally, and I think it's really interesting that they brought in Ultron because for a while they were going to bring like everyone at the end of Avengers. If you saw the end of Avengers, you see this guy turn around like. And it was like, ooh, who is this? And everyone who knew comics was like, that guy is Thanos, and Thanos is like, basically he romantically loves death, yeah, he's a really super powerful being, super powerful being, which deserves an Avengers film, and that was what people were thinking was going to be Avengers 2. But instead they brought in this guy called Ultron, who someone described it to me as basically Terminator. So imagine the Avengers versus Terminator. That's what I heard. Another person described Ultron as being someone who, like he's like a super fighter, but like when he fights people, he learns their moves as they fight, so then he can fight better than them. He's basically a machine. That's a super powerful machine, which will be interesting. But one of Thanos' things, which I think is definitely going to be number 3. One of Thanos' things is he has like this power glove, which he has like, and if he gets 5 rings of power like on each of them, then yeah, the gauntlet thing. I heard from somewhere that the gauntlet thing. There's a thing at the end of Thor 2, which pretty much clarifies that. Like it pretty much like is there like that is gonna happen. If it doesn't, what will kind of thing. Like it's there. We can see all the evidence pointing towards this thing happening for Avengers 3, which would be so cool. Anyway, but my most excited for is Guardians of the Galaxy because I love spacey things and I love out there things, and it's very spacey, very out there. It's directed by James Gunn, who did Super, one of my all-time favourite films, and also it's got many people who I like in. One of them being Lee Pace, who I'm a bit of a fan of, and yeah, there you go. That's the entire video. It's nearly 20 minutes long.
If you watched all of it, well done.
If you watched
Come
all
and
of
get
it,
a medal or like some tea or something.
you're welcome for a cup of tea. Right, okay. Bye.
Bye.